The world was a blur of pain. A whimper escaped the small dog's throat, lost in the roar of the city. He lay trembling, his leg twisted at an unnatural angle. He was alone. The accident had happened so fast. One moment he was trotting along, the next pain exploded in his leg. Cars rushed by, their horns blaring. Each sound sent a fresh wave of fear through him. He tried to stand, to limp away, but his leg wouldn't cooperate. The smell of exhaust fumes filled his nostrils. He closed his eyes, overwhelmed by fear and pain. He wished his mother was there. He was just a puppy, so small and lost in the big city. Days blurred into nights, an endless cycle of light and darkness that offered no respite. The city, with its towering buildings and bustling streets, seemed indifferent to the passage of time. For him, each day was a struggle for survival, a battle against the elements and his own frail body. Hunger gnawed at his belly, a constant companion to the throbbing pain in his leg. Every step was a reminder of his vulnerability, every pang of hunger a testament to his desperate situation. He had once known the comfort of a full belly, the warmth of a safe place to sleep, but those memories were now distant and faded. He lapped tentatively at puddles of dirty water, his only source of sustenance. The water was murky and foul-tasting, but it was all he had. Each sip was a gamble, a risk of illness, but he had no choice. His parched throat and dry mouth drove him to drink, despite the potential dangers. People passed by, some glancing at him with pity, others with indifference. He had become a part of the background, a fixture of the streets that people either ignored or avoided. The few who did notice him often did so with a mix of fear and disgust, their hurried steps a clear indication of their desire to be elsewhere. He flinched away from any attempt at touch, a growl rumbling deep in his throat. Trust was a luxury he could no longer afford. Every hand that reached out to him was a potential threat, every kind gesture a possible trap. His instincts told him to stay away, to protect himself at all costs. They only wanted to hurt him. He was sure of it. His experiences had taught him that humans were not to be trusted. The pain and fear he had endured at their hands had left deep scars, both physical and emotional. He had learned to be wary, to be defensive, to expect the worst. One day, a little girl stopped, her eyes wide with concern. She was different from the others, her gaze soft and compassionate. She saw him not as a nuisance or a threat, but as a living being in need of help. Her innocence and kindness shone through, a stark contrast to the harshness of the world around them. She reached out a hand, whispering soothingly. Her voice was gentle, her movements slow and deliberate. She spoke to him as if he were a friend, her words a balm to his wounded soul. For a moment he felt a flicker of hope, a glimmer of something he had long forgotten. He snapped at her, baring his teeth. Fear and instinct took over, overriding any sense of trust or curiosity. He couldn't afford to let his guard down, not even for a moment. The world had taught him to be cautious, to be ready to defend himself at all times. He couldn't help it. He was so scared. The fear was a constant presence, a shadow that followed him everywhere. It dictated his actions, controlled his reactions. He wanted to trust, to believe in the kindness of others, but the fear was too strong, too deeply ingrained. Tears welled up in her eyes as she pulled back. She didn't understand why he had reacted that way, why he had rejected her kindness. Her tears were a testament to her empathy, her genuine desire to help. She had wanted to make a difference, to offer him a moment of comfort, but he had pushed her away. He watched her go, a pang of something unfamiliar stirring within him. It was a feeling he couldn't quite identify, a mix of regret and longing. He had driven away the one person who had shown him genuine kindness, and now he was left with the emptiness of his own fear. He didn't want to be scary, but he didn't know how to be anything else. His life had been a series of hardships, each one reinforcing his distrust and fear. He longed for a different existence, one where he could feel safe and loved, but he didn't know how to reach for it. The path to healing seemed distant and uncertain, a journey he wasn't sure he could undertake alone. Then one day, everything changed. A woman with gentle eyes stopped. He saw the kindness in her face, a stark contrast to the indifference he was used to. She didn't try to touch him. but spoke to him in soft, soothing tones. She placed a bowl of food and a container of water nearby, keeping a safe distance. He watched her warily, his stomach growling. The aroma of the food was irresistible. He limped towards it slowly, never taking his eyes off her. She didn't move, her calm demeanor a balm to his fear. He ate ravenously, the first real meal he'd had in days. As he ate, he realized she wasn't going to hurt him. Over the next few days, the woman whose name he learned was Sarah came back every day. Each visit was marked by a sense of purpose and a gentle determination. Sarah's presence became a comforting routine for the injured dog, who had been through so much. Her visits were like a soothing balm to his wounded spirit, offering a glimmer of hope in his otherwise bleak world. She would sit a little closer each time, talking to him softly. Her voice was a gentle murmur, filled with kindness and reassurance. She spoke to him as if he were an old friend, sharing stories and offering words of comfort. Her presence was a steady, calming influence, slowly breaking down the walls of fear that had built up around his heart. He would watch her, his tail giving a hesitant thump on the ground. It was a small gesture, but it spoke volumes. Each hesitant wag was a sign of the trust that was beginning to form, a tentative step towards healing. His eyes, once filled with fear and pain, began to show a spark of curiosity and interest. He was still wary, but the fear was starting to recede. The tension in his body began to ease, and his posture became less defensive. He no longer flinched at every sudden movement or sound. The presence of Sarah was like a soothing balm, slowly healing the emotional scars that had been left by his traumatic experience. He felt safe around her. The sense of security she provided was something he had not felt in a long time. It was a new and unfamiliar feeling, but one that he was beginning to embrace. The bond between them grew stronger with each passing day, built on a foundation of trust and mutual respect. One day, Sarah slowly reached out her hand. It was a moment of truth, a test of the fragile trust that had been building between them. Her hand moved with deliberate slowness, giving him time to process and react. She was offering him a choice, a chance to take the next step in their journey together. He flinched, but didn't growl. His reaction was a mix of fear and curiosity, a testament to the progress they had made. He was still cautious, but the absence of aggression was a significant milestone. It was a sign that he was beginning to trust her, even if only a little. Her touch, when it came, was gentle, a soft caress on his head. It was a moment of connection, a bridge between their two worlds. Her fingers moved with a tenderness that spoke of understanding and compassion. It was a simple gesture, but it carried a profound meaning. He leaned into her touch, a low whine escaping his throat. The sound was one of relief and contentment, a release of the pent-up emotions that had been trapped inside him. Her touch was a balm to his soul, soothing the wounds that had been inflicted by his past. It felt so good to be petted. The sensation was a reminder of better times, of a life before the pain and fear. It was a small taste of normalcy, a glimpse of what could be. Each stroke of her hand was a promise of a brighter future, a future where he could feel safe and loved. It was the first time he felt safe since the accident. The sense of security was a precious gift, one that he had almost forgotten. It was a new beginning, a chance to leave the past behind and embrace the present. With Sarah by his side, he felt like he could face anything. With Sarah's patience and love, the fear that had been a constant companion began to melt away. Her unwavering support was a beacon of hope, guiding him out of the darkness. Each day brought new progress, new signs of healing. The bond between them grew stronger, built on a foundation of trust and love. He began to trust again. The journey was far from over, but the first steps had been taken. With Sarah by his side, he knew that he could continue to heal, to grow, and to trust. Their bond was a testament to the power of patience, love, and gentle touch. Section 5. The Long Road Back. Sarah took him to a place filled with the smells of other animals. The air was thick with a mix of fear, hope, and the scent of antiseptic. It was a place where many had come before him, each with their own stories of pain and recovery. He was scared at first, his body trembling with uncertainty, but Sarah held him close, whispering reassurances into his ear. Her voice was a soothing balm, a promise that he was not alone in this strange new world. The people at this place, a shelter he later learned it was called, were kind. They moved with a gentle purpose, their hands skilled and their hearts open. Each touch, each word, was a step towards healing. They examined his leg, their touch gentle despite the pain it caused. The injury was severe, but their expertise and care gave him a glimmer of hope. He could sense their determination to help him, to mend what was broken. He underwent a procedure, a blur of lights and unfamiliar smells. The operating room was a place of both fear and salvation. As he drifted into unconsciousness, he felt a strange mix of dread and trust. When he woke up, Sarah was there, her hand stroking his fur. Her presence was a beacon of comfort in the haze of his pain. She stayed by his side, her eyes filled with a promise of better days to come. He felt a dull ache in his leg, but the searing pain was gone. The bandages were a reminder of his journey, a testament to his resilience. He was on the path to recovery, and each day brought a small victory. The days that followed were a mix of rest and gentle exercises. The shelter staff guided him through each step, their patience unwavering. They celebrated his progress no matter how small, and encouraged him to keep going. The people at the shelter were patient, encouraging him to walk, to play, to heal. They became his new family, a community of care and compassion. With their support, he began to find his strength, his spirit slowly mending along with his leg. Slowly but surely, he regained his strength. He learned to walk without a limp, the memory of the pain fading with each passing day. He loved to play with the other dogs, his tail wagging furiously as he chased them around the yard. He had forgotten what it was like to be carefree, to feel the joy of simply being a dog. He would always wait eagerly for Sarah's visits. She would take him on long walks, play fetch with him, and shower him with affection. He had never felt so loved. He knew in his heart that Sarah was special. She had seen past his fear, his pain, and had shown him what it meant to be loved unconditionally. One day, Sarah came to the shelter with a big smile on her face. She knelt down beside him, her eyes shining with excitement. "I have someone who wants to meet you," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "A family who thinks you're the most wonderful dog in the world." A little while later, a family came to the shelter. There were two children, a boy and a girl, their faces eager with anticipation. They were immediately smitten with him. They played fetch, rubbed his belly, and whispered sweet nothings in his ear. He felt a warmth spread through him, a feeling of belonging he had never experienced before. He knew he was home. Life with his new family was everything he had ever dreamed of. He had a cozy bed, plenty of food, and most importantly, he was surrounded by love. He loved playing with the children, going for walks in the park, and cuddling up on the couch with his family. He was living proof that love could heal even the deepest wounds. He had come a long way from the scared, injured dog he had been. He was now happy, healthy, and most importantly, loved. He knew he would never be truly alone again. He had found his forever home. There are countless other animals out there, just like me, who are waiting for their second chance. They are waiting for a kind hand, a loving heart, a place to call their own. If you're considering adding a furry friend to your family, please consider adopting from a shelter. You'll not only be giving a deserving animal a loving home, but you'll also be making space for another animal in need. Remember, every animal deserves a loving home. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Choose adoption, choose love. You might just change a life, and in doing so, change your own.